Can you do all 6 major shows at Disneyland in one day? That is the question. That is the question, and I'm going to tell you how you can do it. It's not necessarily the easiest thing, but it is possible. It is possible. And with the 70th anniversary of Disneyland coming up, there is one way you can do it. One way. But let's talk about it. So, the Disneyland 70th anniversary is coming up, right? And the Disneyland 70th anniversary, they have 6 different shows. They have this show. This is the Better Together Pixar Pals Celebration. That's a parade that happens in California Adventure. They have the Mickey and Friends Cavalcade. You could say that this doesn't count as a show. I kind of count it as a show. It is a parade. It's just a bit of a smaller parade. But it is a parade. This happens at Disneyland, right? That's the daytime parade. They also have a nighttime parade. Yeah, that's right. There's nighttime. This is the big parade. This is the big Disneyland parade, and it happens twice at night. Okay, and this is the Paint the Night parade. We also have the new World of Color show. So we got World of Color Happiness. So that's new. It's instead of World of Color 1, we have World of Color Happiness. So it looks like it has a lot of fun characters there. I see, like, we got clearly it's about the emotions that take center stage here, right? Because happiness, right? There's joy and everything, but you also see a few others. Elsa, Ursula. That's gonna be an interesting one. A lot of villains in here, right there. Look at these villains here. Okay, we also got Fantasmic, which is not changing. That's not a new show. So if you are going to Disneyland, you've seen Fantasmic before, that might be a show that you could skip if you wanted to, but Fantasmic is still running. And of course, can't forget the fireworks. Wondrous Journeys is coming back. It was here for the 100th anniversary of the Disney companies, right? So the Disney company has been around for 100 years, now 101 years technically. I'm not sure. I'm sure they should have brought like a 101 Dalmatians kind of reference in there, but they do have Wondrous Journeys coming back as the fireworks show, so that's fun. That's fun. However, that's 6 shows. That's 6 shows that, if you are only at Disneyland for one day and you have a park hopper ticket, of course, you could do them all, but it is very difficult. My recommendation always when it comes to, if you're really into these shows, is probably not do it all in one day. At least 2 days. It'll make your life so much easier than trying to rush around, because this will occupy a good chunk of your time at night, and it's a lot of moving around. And if you are not particularly fast, you might not be able to do some of this. So. And when I say fast, I don't mean like fast, but you kind of have to move. You kind of have to move. You can't lollygag. You can't waste time when you're moving between these shows, because there is a small window. There's a small window. Now, if you are watching this and the 7th anniversary has not occurred yet, or it's already passed, there's only 3 shows you have to worry about: World of Color, Fantasmic, and the fireworks. And this is all, and that may not even be the case if it's the off season, but if you're on the weekend, those are the 3 shows. Okay, in that case, it's a very straightforward path. What you do is you watch Fantasmic first at 9:00. You watch you then stay around for the fireworks at 9:30. So you just watch this at River America, and then you move over to Disney California Adventure and watch World of Color at 10:15. That's very straightforward. But let me go ahead into the logistics. Of this, of how we're gonna do this. Okay, so first off, the real question is how are we going to do this? Let's write down all the time. So World of Color is 9:00, and 10:15. Do I have enough room for this? I don't have enough room. I also didn't put a comma there. Okay, World of Color 9:00 and 10:15. Let's change the entire font of this. And we'll reduce that down to 28. Okay, so that just so we could get all of them on there, okay? So that's World of Color. Very straightforward, World of Color, 10:15. Here, let's just drag this box down, make it a little bit easier to see. Okay, World of Color. Okay, Paint the Night is 8:45. This is the parade, 8:45, and it's at 10:45. So those are the 2 showings. Wondrous Journeys fireworks, that's an easy one actually. I know that one. It doesn't say right there, but it's always at 9:30. It's always at 9:30. Wondrous fireworks, 9:30. That's a hard one to wrap around, because since there's not 2 showings, you have to do it at 9:30, right? So everything is sort of built around the schedule is all built around 9:30, and then Fantasmic is the same schedule as it always is, and that's going to be 9:00. and then at 10:30. This is all at night, by the way. These are all night times. This is all PM for those of you kind of wondering. So it looks like a lot, right? It looks like there's a bit that we need to kind of cover in that section, but it's doable. It's doable, guys. We can absolutely do it. We can absolutely do it. And then of course these are daytime shows. These are daytime shows. Okay, so these are in the daytime. Okay. How are we gonna do this? Well, luckily for you guys, we have the ability to game this out. We have the ability to game this out here, and that's right. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Tabletop Simulator. Here, let's put this over here. So we have the numbers. Okay, we have the numbers. Okay. This is Tabletop Simulator. It is a simulated board it's usually for board games, but you can do it for a lot of crazy things, including putting the map of Disneyland Resort on here, and then gaming it out, so to speak. And we're gonna game out the schedule. Okay, so this is Disneyland Park, right? Main Street, New Orleans, Fantasyland, and then this is California Adventure, right? And it faces the other direction. So California Adventure, the top is on the south side and the bottom is on the north side. And there is an Esplanade right here. Esplanade's right here, right? So very straightforward. And the two park, and this is, I don't know about the distance right here because I put two maps together, but that's about right. That's about right in terms of distance. It might actually be a little bit closer together, but it's a fairly easy walked way. Okay, let's mark all the important things. So that's Fantasmic. You're going to watch Fantasmic right there at Rivers of America. World of Color is going to be right here. World of Color is going to be right there in front of the water. So we got World of Color, Fantasmic. And then we got the parade route is going to, depending on where you come from, if the parade usually starts right here at Small World, right here at the end there, that's the parade entrance. And then it usually comes out right here at Main Street. So it goes right along this path here. Goes right along this path here. Let me just draw a line. Goes right along this path, down Main Street, it actually circles around and then ends there. So that's the parade route. That's the parade route. And so you can watch it anywhere along this parade route, but those are the two endpoints. Okay. So let me go ahead and talk about what you need to do. What you need to do to go and see every single show. Okay. And in one single day. There's a couple of conflicts, right? Paint the Nights at 8:45, World of Color and Fantastic, both on 9 o'clock showings at the first beginning. And then for the second showings of each of those, 10:15, 10:30, and 10:45, right? That's a lot of 15 minutes is not a lot of time to kind of get between the shows here. So what do you do? Well, first off, you don't watch the Paint the Night show. You don't watch the Paint the Night parade show at the first showing. 8:45 is great, but 8:45 it's gonna take you forever. It's gonna one, the show is probably longer than 15 minutes because it's a parade. But two, you're not gonna have time even after the show to get anywhere else, right? You might have time to watch fireworks, but you'll completely miss out on Fantasmic, and you might be able to do World of Color, but you'll miss out on Fantasmic. So no Paint the Night. By the way, guys, if you do go 2 nights, or 3 nights, or whatever, how many nights, but you do have the option of having multiple days, always try to aim for the second showing if you can, because they tend to have the least amount of people watching, right? So the 10:15 World of Color, the 10:45 Paint the Night parade, or the 10:30 Fantasmic parade, all of those are going to be have a lot less people, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a good viewing spot for each of those shows. Okay, so that's kind of a big thing. My recommendation is this. You start here. You start here at Rivers of America for Fantasmic at 9 o'clock, right? You could get here. Here, we'll just put this right there. You could get here at early to find a spot around here, or if you're a little bit on the later side, you can find a space a little bit on the left here. Sometimes it does, like the 9 o'clock show does fill up. So that may not open up, but sometimes you can find a little opening on the left if you go to the far left side, talk to the cast members, and then you can kind of get in here, and that will get you pretty close to the rivers. But it's getting here a little early is not the worst situation. Okay, so basically you watch Fantasmic right here. That's your first show, 9 o'clock Fantasmic. Then you stay here. Then you stay here and you watch the 9:30 fireworks show. So the fireworks usually happens right above Toontown, right? They launch fireworks right above here, and then sometimes they run a little bit above the castle. But you're good. They're gonna have the projections on the water, the water streams that shoot out from Rivers of America that I use for Fantasmic, they'll have the fireworks, the Wonder Strange projections on the water there. So you'll be able to see the projections fairly easily. It's the same projections that you see on the castle, same projections you see on Small World, same projections you see along the sides of Main Street. So it's very cool. And then you'll be able to see the fireworks from both the castle and Fantasyland in front of you, right? That'll be very straightforward. So you'll be able to watch the fireworks show and Fantasmic all in the same area, which saves you a lot of time, not a lot of walking, right? So that takes you 9 o'clock to maybe 9:45, 9:50-ish. Okay. After this is when you have to book it. You have to immediately move out to California Adventure. So here's what you're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna draw it out there. You're gonna come down here, from past New Orleans. You're gonna enter Adventureland because they're gonna direct you in that direction, cast members. And then you're gonna come across back in the Main Street. And then sometimes when they're trying to move everyone away from the parade out, they will open up these side entrances. The side entrance here that you want is this one. This one right by Jungle Cruise, because this one is going into the park and you want to come out of the park. So you want to go through the side entrance. If that's not open, just stay down Main Street and just keep going and then just book it. Go all the way across. Go all the way to California Adventure. Okay? Enter in through here, and then you have to keep walking. You have to keep walking all the way over here to World of Color. Now, generally this is going to be the 10:15 show. Okay, so this is the 10:15. This is the second show of World of Color. So like I said, for second shows, it's not going to be the biggest thing. It's not going to be the most hardest to get a viewing spot in. So you might be able to find a viewing spot right over here. By the way, you have to get into the park at California Adventure at 10 o'clock, before 10 o'clock, because it closes at 10 o'clock. And so if you try to get in after 10 o'clock, they won't let you in. So that's why you have to move fast. But once you get in before 10 o'clock, you can kind of slow down a little bit. You can slow down once you get in here. This first part here is the hard part. This is the hard part, right? This is the part where you need to get here before 10 o'clock. Afterwards, you have 15 minutes until the show starts, okay? Unless there's a preview for like a movie, but that's not always the case. So that's but you have 15 minutes after that to get this part. There's good viewing spots. You could probably ask a cast member where you could get in. Sometimes they open up this bottom area if for the second showing because there's not many people. You could go all the way on this side, on the, I guess this would be the western side here. Right, sort of by the Golden Zephyr and get in here, and that's usually pretty open. And then you could get a nice viewing spot by the center. But generally speaking, 10-second showing, it's not that busy. Very easy to watch here. You could probably watch from the bridge if you want. That can sometimes get taken by people. But generally, I do kind of like this section right down here if you can get in. And generally, in the second showing, you can. Okay, so you're here. You're watching World of Color. Okay. That's 3 shows. That's 3 shows. Okay, 3 shows already. and then it's over 10:15. It then gets to about say 10:35, 10:40. Now, to be fair, we don't know how long the World of Color Happiness show is. At least I don't know. So it may be the show is a little longer, a little shorter than that. In any case, you have to book it. You have to book it again. This is not easy. I said this wasn't going to be easy. This is going to be easy because now that you're here at World of Color, you have to then make your way immediately. As soon as the show ends, you got to get out first. You got to get ahead of the crowd because everyone else is going to be heading back to Disneyland Park. This is assuming he has a park hopper, by the way. And then you're going to need to get right here, go around and get right here to see the parade. Because the parade is the Paint the Night Parade. It starts at 10:45, which means that you have maybe about 10 minutes to get from here to here. So you have to walk 10 minutes, and it's gonna start right here. Unlike Small World where it starts right here and goes down, it's gonna start at this green token, and it's gonna go around here and then go all the way up. Okay. And that's why you have to book it, so you can see the parade as it comes out. That's the plan. That's how you see the 4 shows. You're saying, Kevin, I said you said 6 shows. You're right. I did say 6 shows. Okay, and the reason why I say 6 shows is because the parades are in the morning. I sorry, in the morning. They're in the afternoon, early afternoon, and they're generally staggered enough where you don't have to worry about, seeing both of them at the same time. There's going to be one that's going to be earlier that you can see, and then it's going to be a later showing. There might even be 3 times it goes through, depending. But generally speaking, you're going to be able to see both shows fairly easy during the daytime, so you don't have to worry about this. They're not the conflict. They're not the problem here. Okay. And that's how you see 6 shows. Now, there is one other way that you can kind of do it. You might miss out on parts of shows, but if you prefer that method, and you really don't want to miss out on the parade, there is one other method. I don't personally recommend it because it is complicated. Not only is it complicated, it's tricky. It's very tricky, but you can still do it. Okay, so that's the first method is what I recommend. And like I said, do multiple days. Here's the second method. And we'll call this the purple method. We'll call it the purple method. We have the red method and the purple method. Okay. The second method is you start here at Disney California Adventure. You start here, and you watch World of Color at 9 o'clock. Okay. By the way, you could get reservations for World of Color starting at 12 o'clock p.m. For the show. It'll give you either a 9 o'clock or a 10:15 showing. But if you are on the Disneyland app and you're just ready to go as the reservations come up for World of Color, and that's at noon, and you just kind of click really quickly, you could get a reservation for the 9 o'clock show, and that'll let you into this early area. And I think that's one of the best ways to get an early reservation for World of Color. Okay. You can still if you're a little later, you might get a reservation for the second showing, but they won't let you in for the first showing if you have a reservation for the second showing, and vice versa. You watch the 9 o'clock show. This is the second method. You watch the 9 o'clock show at World of Color. That's gonna go for about 20-ish minutes, and then you book it. Again. You have 10 minutes. Okay. You get out of the park, and this is gonna be harder because Disneyland California Adventure will still be open, so there's gonna be a lot more people around. It's going to be a lot harder to get out. And then you watch fireworks. You can watch it here in the Esplanade, but you're not going to get projections. So what I would do in this situation is I would get right about here-ish, and watch the fireworks from here. You're not going to get the best view. The castle is going to be really far away, and then the fireworks. The fireworks going to be a little bit on the small side, but you are going to see the projections on Main Street, and maybe a little bit on the castle, but mostly on Main Street. This is about as close as you can get in this time frame, in 10 minutes time, and even then you might miss the beginning of the fireworks show because this is a hard walk. This is a hard walk with everyone still in California Adventure, but it is doable. It is doable, and you might miss the beginning, but you'll be able to get the fireworks, right? So this is the 9 o'clock World of Color, 9:30 Wondrous Journeys fireworks, which you'll watch here at Main Street. You probably can't get much further in very easily because this gets packed. This entire area gets packed with people watching the fireworks. Okay, 9:30 fireworks finishes. Okay, and that actually gives you a little bit of time, right? It's like 9:45, 9:50, so you don't have to worry about getting into position like crazy. So what you're going to do is you could do whatever. You could maybe do a quick ride or something, a quick ride, or you could try and get a good spot at Rivers of America for Fantasmic. Okay, but whatever you do, you're gonna walk all the way here. Here, let's just erase this line, right? That was the beginning plan. You're gonna walk this way towards Rivers of America, and then you're going to watch Fantasmic at the 10:30 showing. So this is the second showing, the 10:30 showing. And like I said, if you're at the second showing, it's a lot easier to find a spot. Okay, and if you get there early, you can even get a really good spot. But it's all up to you, right? It's all a matter of what you want to do. You're going to watch the 10:30 showing of Fantasmic. Now, this show is about 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long. She's saying, Kevin, am I going to miss the parade? And the answer is, you might partially miss the parade because you're going to have to book it, right? You're going to watch the show, and then remember, the parade starts down here. The second showing of the parade starts down here, goes around Main Street, and goes all the way towards Small World. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim for a cutoff point. You're going to go in this direction. My recommendation is go around Thunder Mountain, through Fantasyland, and then you're going to probably find a viewing area somewhere around here towards the end point of the parade. Now, the parade is going to take a little bit of time to get through here. It's not zooming. We're not a zooming parade, but that is That is, but it will eventually get to that section there, and so usually you could like maybe 15 or 20 minutes later, you could still see, you could start seeing the parade start coming in, and that's going to be your advantage. That's going to be your advantage, the fact that that's the end point. Now it's possible that Disney will reverse the end point and start point of these two of the parade, but I've never seen them start at Main Street and go to Small World and then do the reverse. It's always start at Small World for the first time to Main Street, and then for the second time start at Main Street and then go to Small World. Okay, so that's your plan. That's your other option. The like I said, the downside is you might miss a bit of the first part of the fireworks. You might miss a bit first part of the parade. But that might just be the case anyway. And always, if you just go 2 days. Just go 2 days. It's so hard. If you have seen Wondrous Journey's fireworks already, because you went last year, and you have seen Fantasmic because you've gone, I don't know, any number of years previously, you could skip those. Both of those are not new shows. These shows are very much not that one. That's new. Oh no, that's this one. This one. Oh no. Fantasmic is same. It doesn't change. Wondrous Journeys is going to be pretty much the same. So you can skip those if you want to make sure you get the new shows, which are World of Color Happiness. That's completely new. And then the Paint the Night Parade comes back like every 5 years. So we haven't seen that in quite some time. So those are the two kind of ones to aim for. Better Together Pixar Parade was also here last year. So you could also see that one. I don't know if they're going to have anything new, but I imagine that most of the floats, most of the things that they're going to be doing is going to be the same. And the Mickey's 70th Cavalcade, this might be actually kind of new because it's the 70th celebration. So they might have some new things, but it's a smaller parade. It's a smaller parade. It's probably worth seeing because they're going to have things that that hasn't been shown before, but it's not going to be as impressive as the Paint the Night Parade, the nighttime parade. Okay, so those are basically your two options for going for seeing all six shows on the 70th anniversary. It's not easy. It requires a lot of walking, and if you are not fast, you will miss. You will miss some of the shows there. So that's tough. That's tough there, but hey, whatever works, right? If you wanna pack it all in one day, it is doable. I think some of my friends, at least one friend, will definitely try to do all six shows in one day, or at least the 4 night shows in one day. It'll be tough, but it's doable. But I don't think I'll ever try it. That's a lot. That's a lot of walking. It's a lot of walking back and forth. Now, you can make things a little bit easier on yourself if you do leave early, right? If you do leave a show early, for any reason to get a head start, that will make it easier in your transition from between these two lands into these different show locations. It's just sort of a matter of priority and like how fast you can do things. But if you don't think you can make it, but the big cutoff point is getting into California Adventure before 10 o'clock. If you can't get into California Adventure before 10 o'clock, you can't see the second World of Color show, right? Everything else doesn't have a solid cutoff. There you miss parts of the show, but it's not like you're going to like miss like everything. But that's one where you will miss everything if you don't make it into California Adventure before 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock close. So that's it. If you have any questions, of course, about seeing these shows, or if you have a better route, a better plan, let me know. That's always a possibility. I think those are the two good ones. There's a preference, of course. It's also possible that Disney will change their times. As they start doing the beginning of the 70th anniversary of the show and seeing like kind of what the response is, like maybe seeing the logistics, maybe guests are getting all confused or running into each other, in which case Disney might adjust times. I don't think so, but there's always a possibility. And sometimes Disney does do a lot of things early. Because they have all the features, and once 70th anniversary comes out, Disney's like, oh yeah, there's all this hype, and everyone comes to the park. But if the interest dies down as the summer progresses, then you might see Disney being like, okay, do we really need to show the parade twice, right? Do we really need certain shows? I don't think they're going to do that, but it's possible that maybe they cancel the second Paint the Night parade or something. I don't know. I don't think so. But if they do, that completely changes. The plan, right? If they do only one Paint the Night show, I don't know what time they do. I'm gonna assume they'll stick with the first time. In that case, you have to do Paint the Night first, right? You have to go with the Paint the Night first, and then you. And then I don't know. We figure something out. Maybe we'll do an update video if they change the schedule like that drastically, because that'll make things really difficult. Anyway, guys, good luck on seeing all 6 shows in one day. Congratulations if you do so. You'll probably be part of a small select group of people that actually tried to do that. In fact, I think that if you did all 6 shows in one day at Disneyland, you will be probably less than 1,000 people that ever do that. I really do think so. In one day, I don't think 1,000 people, out of the tens of thousands, millions of people that visit the park are going to try and do it in one day. So you'll be a part of a select group. But it's doable. It's doable. Look, we gamed it out, right? We even have pieces. Oh, man. This is pretty cool, honestly. You could probably play a game on the Disneyland map here like this. I don't know what kind of game you'd play. I don't know, maybe Monopoly or something. Also, I don't know. I guess they got Andrew's tag here. I don't know who Andrew is, but they stole his tag. So, yeah. Take care, guys. I love you all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.